Everybody ready? Good evening. The August 2026 meeting of the City of Scranton Zoning Hearing Board will now come to order. Will the zoning officer please take roll?
Mr. McDermott?
Present.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Welby?
Here.
Mr. Matievich?
Say here.
Mr. Gaddens?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In accordance with the Pennsylvania Sunshine Law, this board shall render a decision on each case either at the end of each hearing or within 45 days of the hearing. If you are to give testimony in a case, please come to the podium, raise your right hand, and wait to be sworn in. After being sworn in, state your name and address, then proceed with your testimony. Also, anyone giving testimony who does not become party to the case may obtain a written decision from the zoning office. I have two announcements of law. If you are granted a variance or a special exception, you must wait 30 days from the date of our decision to obtain the necessary permits to start work. However, you may obtain a permit sooner by signing a waiver that any work done during that 30-day period is at your own risk. A favorable decision by this board shall expire 12 months from the date of said authorization in accordance with Article 10.3C of the zoning ordinance. If you fail to obtain the necessary permits or do not comply with any or all conditions of said authorization, you must seek an extension. Any remarks from the board? Mr. Evans, can you attest that the postings are up? Thank you. We're ready.
Case number 1, Reuvain Handelsman seeks variance to construct 14 townhouse units at 1501 Farr Street in the corner of Farr Street and North Sumner Avenue, R10 zone.
Fantastic. Sir. Yes, thank you. I have a in contract.
Can you get closer to the microphone, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
I have in contract. I'm in contract now with the school board for the about an acre on Farr Street, North Washington. I believe as of right, there we can build 8 units there, 8 townhouses. So I'm seeking a variance to add another 6 there because it's a large lot. I have the parking for it, 1 unit per. We're building we have 3-bedroom units for each one, 2 stories, and looking for variance for that.
Do you have a parking plan that was submitted?
Yes, I submitted it. I have it here as well.
Do we have one? Do we have a copy?
I think that's, we've got a tiny copy, but
Small
it's the same
copy.
thing, yeah.
All right, so go ahead.
Okay.
What's the reason you want 14 instead of 8?
It's a large lot. I can give them nice backyards as rentals. I have the parking for it. It meets all requirements and logic for the space there. For me, I see those units being there as opposed to I'm not trying to squeeze them in there. As you see on what I submitted, we have space for yard, a lot of.
I'm gonna, you know, why don't you sit in that chair if you're going to be going to drawings, and there's a microphone right there. It might be better. We're having a hard time hearing you.
How I know. Is that good? Okay. So there's ample yards for kids to play in space. Over there, there's parking. There's a walk space. I have side lot over here, so I figured it has the space there for it. Then I might as well put in what I believe logically should be there on that lot.
So I see you have no setbacks on the one side. What's your reasoning for not having a setback on that side?
On the side by the street, there's a retaining wall on Farr Street, and then it kind of comes up slightly as it goes up, it grades up.
Guys, please no talking in the back.
It has, on that side, it has, right over here, it has that, the sidewalks kind of grading up and ends when it gets to the alleyway, so it didn't seem like it called for any space, any setback over there.
There's no setback on this
So
side.
there's a
Then he has-
property line right here.
Yeah, and then he has 19 on this side.
Yeah, that's just, doesn't-
What is it?
He has to have something.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that good.
Yeah. He doesn't need a...
So you're fronting Manila Place?
Correct, because there's no entrance from Farr Street. There's I believe it's about 20 feet, 20-foot high retaining wall there, so there'll be no entrance from there.
Now, is this before the planning commission? Does this have to go, or has it gone before?
Oh, if it's approved here, it will definitely have to go to the planning commission as a land development.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
And Don, when that would come in front of you, I know a lot of concerns that I heard was the wall. Would that be something you guys take into consider? Or
Well, I'm sure our engineer will ask about, is it safe? Will it withhold this type of a project?
Okay.
Would he be required to have a study done on that wall? I mean, that wall's got to be 100 years old, if not
Yeah.
older at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure, that would be the engineer, our engineer's call
Yeah.
if he, I imagine they would take a look at it if there's some doubt to it, they would ask for something like that.
So one of the concerns I have with this project is your driveways go right up to the, is it Manila Place? Am I
Yeah.
saying that right? Manila Place, the alley? Who's responsible for plowing that if it even does get plowed? And now we're going to put 12 units back there.
14.
14. It's basically a one-way alley. There's no way two cars could get on each side of that, go back and forth. And to continue my question, you have one spot, a driveway for one car, which is required, but if these people have visitors or two cars, where will they park at that point? Because they can't park in that alley.
Well, to address the first question, there are many garages coming into that alley there, so I don't see this, how it would be any different, meaning even if, let's say, 12 were allowed, or 20 or 30, if there's space for those houses and there's garages in the alley as well, and those cars are pulling in there, what difference would it be if they're pulling to this one or they're pulling to the one right on the other
So
side?
I'm not questioning the ability to pull in. What I'm saying is, I'll go back to that part of the question. If you have, how many bedrooms are these going to be? We'll start with that.
Three each.
Three each? Okay, so if you have three adults living there and three cars, you only have room for one car in your driveway there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be a one-car family or a three-car family. I'm not sure of that. I'm talking about specifically.
I'm going to ask you to go to that microphone. I'm having a real hard time hearing you.
What I was saying was that right now, I put this parking plan based on the requirements from the city. So I put this there. Now, if they have guests, they have the entire Farr Street to park on, or North Washington, the same way every other house has that ability, meaning some of the houses don't have parking at all. They have the ability to park there for guests or for additional cars. I was just putting what was required on the parking
Well,
plan.
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you're in a kind of a landlocked piece of land right here, because the only way into it is through this alleyway here.
Correct,
Because of the size of that
yes.
wall out front.
Yeah.
So it does provide a unique circumstance.
Right.
Where you're correct. I mean, the ordinance right now is one per unit.
Right.
But I think this is just presenting a different outlook when
Right.
it comes to parking there, so.
So I had the thought of putting a staircase through Farr Street, but as I believe Mr. King said, that it's probably a 100-year-old wall. I'd rather not, mess with it if I don't have to.
Yeah,
If it's structurally
I
sound.
understand that.
Right.
So,
Are these units for sale or for rent?
For rent.
For rent.
I have a question. On the, we discussed the side setback to the neighbor's property. Is there something that they can build right up to the property? Do we need a side setback?
According to
The ordinance says no. The
No?
ordinance says a 0 setback.
Okay. On the apron, do you need an apron on the driveway at all? Leading to the alley?
Well, he's saying he has 25 feet there. Is that what you mean? The driveway looks like it's about 25 feet long. Is that what you're talking about?
I thought he had the driveway listed at 19.
How long is the driveway?
I have it at 19, from the alley to the front of the house is 25.
19.
Right, the setback is 25 from Manila Place to the building. The parking area is about 19.
Yeah.
Okay. And do we need sidewalks back there?
No.
No? Okay. Just going over. I do have one issue. When I was at the property, and we do go to all the properties, when I measured the length of the property from the neighbor's fence to the curb, I'm coming up with 310 feet, not 320. So I did my research, and today I was at the Lackawanna County Recorder of Deeds office, and I have some paperwork if I introduce them into the record, or I'll pass them out. Okay, I'll give you a copy. Mr. Chairman? Yeah, I have it. Okay. You'll see the first one. The first one is, it's got the raised seal from, this is by them, and then on, that's from the, and this lists the deeds from 1926 when they deeded it to the Scranton School District. And on this is, again, from that, they have the property listed owned by the Scranton School District at 310 feet by 136. And on this, which is the map printout from them, from the Lackawanna County Tax Services, listing the property at 136 by 310, which obviously if we're going to change, here, you can keep that.
I understand what you're saying, but obviously, we know there's no side setbacks. Even if it's short 10 feet, it still is not affecting the side setback. It's 300 feet wide, you're saying it's 310.
Right, but according to his setbacks on the Sumner Avenue side, he's filling everything between the building and the required setback to Sumner Avenue.
So he has, for what I'm reading on his paper, it's 300 feet wide, and you're saying it's 310. He's having the building itself is 300 feet wide.
I have to zoom in on it to read it.
Did it,
Yes, you have the building at 305, the lot size 320, and you required a 15-foot setback on
Where?
Sumner Avenue side, right?
there's no side setback. Is there,
No, there would be on the Sumner Avenue side,
okay,
because that's a local street which requires a 15-foot setback.
15, so he's
So
short,
that's 15.
he's
So
short,
that takes us right to that 320.
right, he's short the,
Now, he's got it at 19.4 with the, whatever you call those things in the corners. Yeah, I don't know, what do you call it? You're the contractor, what? Okay. If you took that out, how much are you picking up?
I'd pick up, I would say, probably about 10 feet. If this is correct. I mean, if it's 1 per 10, then I'm good. If it's 1 per 20, I get more.
Yeah, he needs 15 feet. The building is 300 feet. So he would need, the lot size would have to be 315 feet. So.
Right off the bat, he has to lose 1 unit right off the bat to make the setback, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Well, if I lose that porch there, and that brings me another 10 feet, I should be okay. If your setback is 25 feet, or is it 15 feet?
15 from Sumner.
Right, so if I'm at 320 and I go down to, let's say, call it 310 for now,
These porches.
and I lose another 10 off that porch, that unit is still good if I get rid of the porch.
So it would be the porch plus what looks like a bay window in the middle also?
Right, so I remove the bay window, make that
would
wall
just have to be
flush.
a pane.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you
He needs
got
15
it
on
down
this
to,
side.
I guess we come to the question, why 14 units?
Well, I have, let's call it 40 feet, I have 39.9 feet from the house to the retaining wall. I have a 40-foot yard, and I have about, it's a pretty big yard. I have a pretty big backyard for each house. I have a parking lot, I have an entrance, I have I have a front yard as well. I don't see why not. I'm seeing as, you know,
Well, why not is because you're only allowed 8.
Right,
You're
that's
asking
fair.
for 6
Right.
more.
Right, I'm asking for 6 more because it's a very large lot. It's unusual to find in a residential area an acre of land. It's highly unusual to find that in Scranton. So
Yeah,
it's,
and the yard in the back where Farr Street is, I understand all that. But
right.
You're squeezing that 14th unit in there, and it's really fooling with that 15-foot setback.
Well, if I don't fool with it, and I actually have the 15-foot setback. Let's say I adjusted a bit to have that 15-foot setback, and I have what's required for it. The reason why I'm asking for it is it's a very large lot. Like I said, it's very unusual. So the reason why I'm asking for that is because if not, it's kind of, you know, what else would I do with that land? I can make a park. I mean, I'm not sure. But I think it would be a shame not to build and bring, you know, another unit there.
Do you own this lot yet, or
I'm in contract. I'm in contract with the school board.
there's no one here from the school board, is there? Because my question is, has the school board tried to sell this any other way?
It's been for sale for a long time.
Because one of the things to meet the variance is there are unique physical circumstances or conditions, including irregularity, narrowness, or shallowness of the lot size or shape, or exceptional topographical or other physical conditions peculiar to that particular lot, and that the unnecessary hardship is due to conditions and not circumstances or conditions generally created by the provisions of this ordinance in the neighborhood or the district. I think yourself just said it. It's a great lot. And I just, that's the first item that you have to meet, and I'm telling you right now, in my mind, it's not being met. I mean, I don't understand why it didn't sell. I don't know if the school district was looking too much money before, but I'm sure there's people that would have built houses on that property, single houses. So I'm just having a hard time grappling with the provisions that you have to meet to require variance, so.
Well, in reality, the school board has been paying insurance and holding on to that property for a very long time since the fire. They do have the hardship. I don't have the hardship. You're right. The owner does have the hardship, but I'm not here. I can't represent them. But they have the hardship of holding on to that land.
Well, you're the one asking for the variance.
No, I understand that.
So.
I do understand that. And it's been on the market for a long time. No one else has, I don't believe there's been, you know, any other approach. So putting single-family houses, if I only put a few on there, I don't know a builder that would be able to make money on that. So I'm putting something in there where I can try to make some money on it, even though, you know, construction costs are high. So that's, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I just have questions on the entrance and exit. It seems like, to me, the main entrance would be off North Sumner versus
Correct.
the opposite side. So I'm looking at the line of sight, because there's a small wall there that looks like it was added, maybe at one point there were steps or the wall was repaired. If that part is going to come down at the intersection.
At the, where North Sumner meets the alley?
Meets the alleyway.
Manoa?
Because there's the other corner, on the other side of that property, on the corner, there's a house with fence, and then they have flat stones that are cemented going down into the alley. I don't know if it's in the alley or if it's on there, if it's on the border. That's gonna make it tight for cars coming in and out, because I think your parking pads, people are gonna be pulling in. So that means they gotta back out on the alley every single time they're coming out. It says here on your plan, the alley 30 feet wide. It says assuming it's 30 feet wide. I don't know if it's 30 feet, more or less. So that's gonna make it tighter in that section. And that's my concern, that line of sight at that intersection. And then the cars that will eventually go out towards the other street, the alley seems to get a little narrow, a little more congested with garages and other vehicles. And another concern of mine is the number of units. And do you have any plans on removing that wall?
I don't plan on removing that retaining wall, no.
No, it's a small section that looks like it was added on. I don't even know if it's connected.
So just from my understanding, are you guys saying that if it'd be better to bring it back, let's say 5 to 10 feet, so that they have a easier swing, a better line of sight?
Easier
Is that what you're saying?
swing, easier line of sight.
Makes sense to me,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you're gonna have people walking, cars.
That definitely makes sense to me.
And there's no basement to the
No,
property.
I know.
No
That's
basement, no
one of the things that-
garages.
Right, Mr. Gans brought up the retaining wall, I mean, Mr. King also did. I wouldn't want to dig down to put a basement there. Number one, it's the cost prohibitive. Number two is, I don't want to start with that retaining wall. If I put a.
And there's no garage, right? You have no garages?
No garage.
Okay. And there's no other plans, you know, if you eliminate 1 unit, 2 units for additional parking anywhere?
I didn't think it was needed. I mean, the other houses that we built, or that we have, I haven't, listen, obviously, the bigger, the more apartments, the more cars usually, it's obvious, right? But what I'm keeping in mind is that because there are no units on Farr Street, so technically these are the units on Farr Street, if there are additional car parking spots needed, they can use that part of the street. It was half the street.
All right.
Yeah.
With the property now being 310, okay? And the side setback to Sumner Avenue, how much does that have to be? From the Sumner Avenue to the building?
15 feet.
15 feet, okay? So how can we get the building down so it will make that 15 feet?
Well, if I remove that porch and the bay window, I should have that 15 feet. I'll make it have that 15 feet.
You make it happen.
Yeah, if I remove the bay window, remove the porch, if I'm a foot over, I'll bring it down a foot and, bring everything down a couple inches on each unit, and I'll
So now they don't get a porch?
well, I can give them a back porch. It is a nice wraparound porch. It is.
So it would just be drawing that corner over in order to make it,
Correct.
okay, so if you get to that,
I'd have to put one on the back.
Anyone here to give testimony in this case? Please come up.
Do I go back or stay here?
Virgil Argenta, Virgil, Argenta. Yes, I do. Good evening, members. Let me be clear, I'm not opposed to the development. Our neighborhood welcomes responsible projects that are compatible with surrounding community. My concern is whether the proposal could negatively affect the health, safety, and welfare of nearby residents, which are key factors that this board is required to consider. Years ago, in 1964, Samuel Morse number 20 school was closed due to a mine subsidence, demolished in 1977 after a fire. Before this project moves forward, it is reasonable to ask whether the developer has completed or will complete geotechnical investigation on the site, deeming it safe for this project due to that mine subsidence. It is also important to know whether the developer will agree to a structural engineering inspection of the stone retaining wall to ensure it can safely support the proposed development. In addition, will the developer provide a stormwater management plan demonstrating how water runoff will be controlled and prevented from impacting neighborhood properties on Farr Street, Dorothy Street? We in the city of Scranton are very well aware of the problematic sewer systems and catch basins in our city. Will a traffic study be conducted by either the developer or the city of Scranton, given the access to the property appears to be limited to Manila Place, which is an alley between West Gibson Street, Farr Street, abutted by North Sumner Avenue and North Rebecca Avenue? The board should also consider the effects of recent traffic pattern changes on Dorothy Street, Farr Street, and West Gibson Street, particularly during school arrival and dismissal times at the Isaac Tripp Elementary School. Another especially important question is whether emergency vehicles, including the fire department's ladder trucks, can safely navigate onto Manila Place in the event an emergency occurs. These issues should be addressed before any decisions on this project should move forward. It is also worth noting that the property remained undeveloped for decades, despite the Scranton School District needs for building sites and the lack of interest from many other local developers. That history raises legitimate questions about suitability of this site for a townhouse project of that size. I understand this property is owned by the Scranton School District, and we all want to see it return to the tax rolls. I support that as well. However, we must proceed responsibly and safely. We should not exchange short-term tax revenue for a long-term risk. The safety of residents must come first. Tax revenue should come second. So for these reasons stated, I respectfully request that this project be denied or at least tabled with stipulations before any development is to occur. I've researched it from 1927, it was Farr Street and North Sumner Avenue. 1958, it was 921 North Sumner Avenue. In 1960, the address for Samuel Morse number 20 school was 860 North Sumner Avenue. Currently, it's 1501 Farr Street. So what is the real exact address of this property? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jim. Anyone else?
Don, during the planning commission side of this, would they take in the
Sure.
storm?
Okay, Mr. Argenta's concerns are real. However, that's not what this board has to address. That's what the planning commission has to address. The geotechnical study, the retaining wall, the stormwater, the traffic study, that's all things within the purview of the planning commission, not us. We can only decide whether we would approve 14 townhouses as opposed to 8. Then it goes to the planning commission, which would have to address Mr. Argenta's concerns, legitimate concerns.
Are we able to, Dan, are we able to put stipulations on that when it goes to the planning commission, that the zoning board is looking to have these certain items completed with their support?
What do you think?
I think you could put whatever reasonable conditions you want on your approval. But whether it's 14 or 8, I believe the planning commission would look strongly at all of those factors.
Yeah.
So
I'm concerned.
even if he walked in tomorrow with a plan for 8 units, he wouldn't need any zoning approval. It would go right to a land development approval, and I believe the planning commission would look strongly at all of those conditions.
Yeah, I'm concerned about I do remember the mine cave and reading about stuff like that over there. And it makes me wonder if that's why this land has sat vacant for all these years, if other people have concerns regarding that as well. So,
Yeah,
Well,
again,
I'm
that's,
sure
that's,
people have concerns, but I've never seen a study one way or the other on the property. I don't know anybody's gotten that far with it.
right.
So, Mr. Argenti, you heard what he said about the planning commission side of your concerns, correct? Yes. And what he says is he can legally build 8 without us having approval here. Were you concerned with the number of units, or you just don't like the project at all?
Well, the density of the project also in that area, would that set a precedence for the city of Scranton? So anybody could squeeze that amount of property, density of the properties on any lots in the city of Scranton. And what's the rents gonna be? Who's gonna maintain them? You know, do you have a property manager? Does he live in the city? You know, like, there's a lot of other questions that just, you know, putting up 8 units so somebody could make money. You know, we know that the neighborhoods are already stressed as it is. There's not ample parking. We all know that. Parking's an issue. The safety of the wall, whether you can put 8 on that property or not, the issue is still whether the property is safe from a mine subsidence. We have major developers in the city. Why didn't any of them guys buy it when it was $25,000 if that was such a good piece of land and it was a jewel? We sure that there would be other developers that would have took care of that. The study of the mines, the study of the wall, the study of the sewer is very, very costly. And we know water runs downhill. Look at this, if you went up there and you looked, like you said, you saw the sidewalks, did you see what the sewers looked like? They're less than the size of a basketball. Can they hold that influx of water? Truck 2 and truck 4, can they make that swing on the Manila place? The wall is 20 feet high in some spots. The trees are another 20 feet high. Do our ladder aerial trucks, can they reach through that without getting to the high-intensity wires and the obstacles? There's a lot more to look at than just building properties in the city and somebody making money. Thank you.
thank you again. Anyone else give testimony?
Just to complete the record, we have a letter from Carol Krappel, who resides at 1410 West Gibson Street, that she and her husband are not in good health enough to come to the board meeting tonight, but she was against the building of the townhouses due to the parking concerns and not enough room to build 14 units.
I think we all know you want to put as many units in here as you can, and it just looks to be excessive to me personally. It looks like a lot of units for what you're trying to do there. Did you ever think of trying to come down and make that smaller?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with all the gentleman's concerns. There are great questions, and they all make sense. The density of it, whether it's 8 or 14 with the mining and all that, and whether the ladder trucks can get in there, and they are great concerns, and they have to be addressed by the planning commission, and we have to see if they could get down there, because if not, getting over the wall and the trees would be a problem. All those concerns make sense, but even if I put 8 there, those concerns are still there, besides the density of 8 versus 14. And I have a question. I'm curious, technically, if I split those lots, and I have half acre and half acre, can I do 8 and 8?
Well, he said you could legally do 8, right? Is that what you, Mr. King?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Without splitting the lot?
Without
Right.
splitting the lot.
My question is, if I split the lot, can I go 8 in one lot and 8 in another lot? Because per zoning, I believe, I'm allowed to do 8 per lot.
Technically, if the lot is subdivided into 2, you could put 2 townhouses on there, and our ordinance allows up to 8
Right.
townhouses. Now, I'm not sure if they would fit
Right.
on that,
Right,
but
that wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't fit. I wouldn't put
Right.
16. I'm not saying let's go more. But what I'm saying is I could put 8 and 6. It's the same thing because there's no side lot setbacks. So I can still do the same thing. But I definitely understand the concerns of Mr. Walsh about the density of it, whether it's 14 or 13 is not. The question is whether I can get a variance for, even if it's 13. Lower the density of it, give some more green space. And the gentleman's concerns are still very valid. We're going to have the same concerns.
According to the map I had given you from the Lackawanna County Recorder of Deeds, being at the 310 number, looking at the other houses across the street on both sides, both of them have 8 houses on both sides.
Right.
Going to 14, that's pretty tight mass housing, which is what,
That is true, but there's also different widths to houses, meaning you can have a 40 or 60-foot wide house or a 20-foot wide house, and you can go a little, have it, you know, a little higher and still have ample square footage for a comfortable family to live in very comfortably and not have a 40-foot wide house as well.
how wide is each unit?
I believe there are 25, 22, I believe.
It's hard to see on ours because we're just getting 8 by 11
I'm sorry?
pages. It's hard to read
Oh.
on the small papers we have. That's why I can't make it out.
I believe they're 22 wide, I believe.
You see them?
On your big map, what does unit number 1 say?
I believe it's 25.
14. That's what I'm,
I believe they're 22 wide. I believe they're 22 wide. I apologize, 20.4 by 56.10.
I know, Donna, it seems like a stupid question. There's no way for us to have planning hear this before we voted, is there?
No, it has to, we have to approve
We
it
have
before
to
it goes
vote
to
first,
planning. If we don't approve it, it doesn't go to planning.
We're struggling up here with this, you know, and Mr. Argento brought great points up as far as I'm concerned. How far would you be willing to reduce this down, like numbers?
What are you looking for, sir?
You're looking at 10?
Can we meet in the middle?
I couldn't hear.
Can we meet in the middle? I'm saying because if I shave 40, close to 41 feet off, right? So what are we looking for? We're looking for each lot to get a little wider. We're looking for a side lot. What are we looking for?
I just think in general, it's just too large scale of a project. I think if you reduced it to at least 10 minimum, or maximum. You'd have more side setbacks, you'd have extra parking, there'd be a ton more you can do there with, if you reduce that down.
Is the parking the concern for the point
Parking's
of
always a
reduction?
concern. It's always a concern.
Okay, I mean, I've driven by there many times. I go to the court there, to, you know, I've driven the block. A lot of good friend of mine live a block away from there. That street's usually empty because no one lives on that side of the street. So we're talking about, say, 25% of the 1500 block of Farr Street is empty because of that. It has that extra parking.
I mean, we can make a stipulation of 10, or you can withdraw this and go subdivide it and do whatever you're gonna do.
Can we table it so I don't have to make a quick decision? Would that be okay? Is that
We
fair?
can table it, yes.
We could do
That's
that.
fair. Thank you.
You have to ask us to table it.
Would you mind tabling it till next month, please?
I'll make a motion that we table it.
Second?
On the motion, Mr. McDermott,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Welby,
Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, by a vote of 5-0, it's been tabled until next month.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
and
you.
lady. Thank you.
Oh, you're relieved now, buddy.
no,
Thank you.
I got the seat all warmed up for you.
He's entertaining. We ready? We're ready for the next case, guys. Let's go. Thank you, Paul. Twice. We're ready.
Okay. Case number 2, BSD Realty New Jersey LLC, BHNV PA LLC, seeks special exception to legally use 850 square foot above-ground basement apartment at 611-613 Harrison Avenue, R10 zone. This was a remand from the court.
Anyone here for the next case?
Joe? You're not on that one? You're not on that one? You were. Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe they either hired somebody else or were gonna do it on their own, so,
Okay,
because I told them unless you have some additional information,
sure.
you can't go and just re-argue the same thing.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're not here.
Okay, so they are not here. Attorney Capolito informed them that they would have to come in to argue their case, and they have not showed up. I'm sorry? Oh,
Dan and I argued that case on appeal in front of Judge Moyle. It was remanded here. And I contacted the applicant. I told him, unless you have some additional information, you can't go back and just re-argue the same case. So I told them to gather some stuff, and, if they wanted to hire me to argue that, to contact me. I was never contacted, so if they're not here,
okay, so,
So we'll table, we'll move this to the end? No? To the
No.
end?
no, I would say we vote on it to,
Vote on it now?
yeah, I think we have to vote on it, but based on the testimony that was before the board before, we'd have to vote on it. I know
Yeah, I
Joe
want to
was-
vote on
Joe
it. This has
wasn't
been here too many times.
I'm not sure who was here for the first one, the first argument, on this one.
I know I
On
was.
Harrison.
Yeah.
I think
I was
everybody,
here.
everybody else
Jim
I
was
think
here.
was here, right?
Bob, were you?
Harrison Avenue? Going back, basement apartment. Just the three of us.
Okay. So because they have not shown, we can bring it up for vote.
All right.
Okay?
So a no vote, it's going to be denial?
Correct.
Okay. I'll make a motion to vote.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the second? Jim? Second. On the motion, Mr. McDermott,
No.
Mr. Walsh,
No.
Mr. Morris.
Just myself, next one, Jim, just me.
He wasn't here the first
Oh,
time.
okay. Mr. Gattens.
No, by a vote of 3-0, it's been denied.
So if they want to reapply, they'd have to start from the
Yeah.
beginning. Yeah, I think it's just one. I think his order,
Copy of that.
What is this?
That's my report to the board to try and answer the judge's question about
Here's-
zoning, or zoning, the ordinance in effect at the time.
he didn't send it back for a new hearing, he sent it back
It's a remand for a specific purpose,
for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
to try to garner some evidence that there was a pre-existing non-conforming.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rehash all the, you know, stuff that
Yeah.
was already testified to, because I don't believe that's why we're here. Do you agree with that?
Well, that's the, remanded to develop a record as to the zoning district, that property was
Which is-
located
which
in
is what your
1982.
report is, yeah.
That's what I tried to answer
Yes,
in this.
if I could just have a moment. to
Take your
look
time, yeah,
at both
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
'cause I haven't seen it yet.
He's asked for a moment to review some material before we, yeah, on the next case. Yep. Case number 3, 1317 Dartmouth LLC seeks interpretation and/or variance to use property as a 4-unit building, remanded for the Court of Common Pleas for the development of a record. 1317 Dartmouth Street, R10 zone.
Is, Mr. King, is he here, he's representing this case?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just wants to vote.
Okay.
He's reviewing a copy of the report that I gave each of you on that property and the zoning at the time.
What is this here?
I know. He's here, too. Who's the original applicant way back?
This guy.
No, hang on.
Joe, we're going to give you time to review everything and go through with your client, and we'll come back to you.
Okay. Case number 4, 617 Mineral Avenue LLC, appeals notice of violation issued 5/4/2006, alleging conversion of a single-family home to a 3-family home at 617 Mineral Avenue, R11 zone. And the case would be heard as a variance. Should the board uphold the notice of violation, then they're also requesting a variance to use the property as 3 units.
Yes. Nicholas Vorberger, Vorburger. GER.
Oh, what was your first name? I'm sorry. Nicholas. And it's Attorney Rick Bishop.
Oh, Mr. Bishop, yes.
Would you pick the microphone up some?
All right. So hello, everybody. Today we're here for 617 Mineral Avenue. I'm attempting to have it. I'm attempting to have the record at this point, I believe, corrected to have it as a 3-unit building. I'm looking for a variance to correct it to a 3-unit building. So we purchased the property in October of 25 through a real estate agent. The original layout was kept, and the tenants mentioned when we purchased it that there were a couple of issues. The paint was older than I was. There were some leaking faucets, things of that nature. So we went in, we fixed those sorts of issues, and then between October and April, I didn't hear very much from the building. We got the rent, everything was quiet, the building was clean, it was looking good. In front of you, I'm not sure if Mr. Evans passed it out, but he said that he received an email from Mrs. Mountford of 616 Mineral Avenue, who says the previous owner, Mr. Nazar, is the one who had it set up in the way that it is, and that it's been operating in the way it has for 25 years. I've only owned this building for less than a year at this point. So on April 30th of 26, I received a call or an email saying that we had this, that we had a complaint coming in of it being used as a multi-unit building. So after speaking with Mr. Evans, we went over some of the issues or things that he had, and we set up a date for him to come and have a visit. He came to the building, we did a visit, we did a walkthrough. He took pictures, everything was friendly. At that point, he left, and he went and he spoke with, I believe, Mr. King, and whoever else he spoke with. Once they had looked through the pictures and everything, they determined that it was being used as a 3-unit. So that leaves me with 2 options. The main reason was because of the amount of kitchens. There's 3 kitchens in the building, and the kitchens, I guess, are determining the units. So from there, we have 2 solutions. Either remove the kitchens, we bring it down to a single-family home with only 1 kitchen. But I think a better solution for that would be requesting a variance to have 3 units. From there, we identified there's 2 main issues for having it become a 3-unit. One would be parking. The first one would be parking. There's no off-street parking present on that building. But as the regulation says, if we can provide parking within 400 feet of the building, that those can be used as pieces. So I spoke with the gentleman across the street, Alex, who owns an auto repair place, and he said, hey, I own the parking lot right over here, and I'd be happy to sell it. So $35,000 later, I own a parking lot, which would satisfy the parking requirement for the.
Is that the one to the, if looking at your house to the left?
To the right, so it would be 14 Silex Street.
Okay.
Mr. Sean has been over and he's taken a look. Since acquiring the parking lot, we went in, we cleaned everything up. It's ready for use for parking and everything. There was some garbage and stuff. We removed everything. It's looking good over there. The second issue would be egress for 3rd floor. There is an interior staircase from 3rd floor to 2nd floor, which butts up against the right side of the exterior of the house. From there, we could have an opening done, we could have a door, have a little porch that comes down, and have a nice staircase there. That would be more than comfortable secondary egress for 3rd floor. As I mentioned, Mr. Evans did several walkthroughs with me. We did the initial, then we came back, we looked at the staircase. That was the interior staircase. We went over all sorts of different plans. There's more than enough space to do so, and I'm here requesting a variance to try to have it as a 3-unit.
Mr. Evans, are the 3 apartments, are they registered? 3 apartments in there now?
It's registered as a single-family home at this time through the rental
So-
department.
Is only 1 apartment registered?
Yes, correct, sir.
How come you didn't register the apartments if you owned it since last year?
So I have it written. So what it is, as you know, I've been in front of the board before. We have a couple of buildings. When we go through and do the registrations, we look at the garbage tax. On that one, it was registered, we had 300, so it was filled out a little bit, I suppose haphazardly. It was my mistake, I take that on. My solution for that was I would be more than happy to register it ASAP as a 3-unit, and I can provide a $600 check.
You gave a good presentation, I'll give you that much.
I'm very nervous all the time.
You're doing a good job.
So just a quick question. You said you bought the repair garage, is that correct?
No, we didn't buy the garage, we bought a parking lot.
A lot off of the garage.
A lot off of the garage. And where is that lot at?
So we're at 617 Mineral. Next door is, or 2 houses to the right is going to be 14 Silex. So I measured it, it's within 400 feet, so it would be in compliance with the
So it's around the corner?
Sort of, yeah. If you're standing on Mineral, then you come around the corner onto Silex, then it's 1-2 houses in.
And
So-
what size is that lot?
Very large. It has comfortable parking for 16 to 20 vehicles.
Is that by the Yanks Automotive? Is that the automotive on the end of the road?
So if the automotive's here, the parking lot's over here. It's caddy. It's diagonal.
Last building on the right-hand side is the automotive place.
One more time, I'm sorry.
The last building on the right-hand side.
Your mic.
Joe, turn your mic on. Turn his mic. There you go. Thanks.
The last building on the right-hand side is where the automotive place is, right?
Yes.
And your caddy corner from that for the parking?
It's diagonal across the street, yes.
Are there houses on each side of that parking lot?
There is, yes.
So are we looking at another variance for parking?
No, he's got enough parking there. He could fit 16 cars in that lot.
No, what I'm saying is does he need a variance to make a parking lot there?
There's already a paved parking lot there, sir.
I'm sorry.
There's already a paved parking lot there, sir. The gentleman, the auto repair, had it as a paved parking lot.
It was already
That's
used
what he
as a
bought.
parking lot.
Okay, all right. Good.
So basically, just to clear the record, you're not appealing the notice of violation. You have the 3 units operating right now. So you're asking for a variance to allow that 3-unit to go forward.
Yes. So on that one, I haven't changed. We haven't changed anything. We acquired it very recently, in October. I've continued running it as it is, and then we received this, and I'm looking to get it to a 3-unit. It's been operating this way for 25 years or so.
So, Dan or Don, are we doing 2 votes, 1 to uphold and then a variance?
Well, I think he's withdrawing the appeal from the notice of violation because he has the 3 units. He's admitted that. So we're only moving forward on the variance. Am I right, Attorney Bishop?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Good.
So, Mr. Chairman, what would his hardships be? You read the hardships in the last case. that he had to
The
meet for a variance.
hardships here would be the place already has 3 kitchens.
It
and
wasn't
already was
created
used
by him.
as 3 units. That's what you told us, right? There are three kitchens and
There are 3
it's been used as 3 units.
So currently, it's all 3 units could stand independent. All 3 floors could stand independently. Yes, they have the bathrooms, they have the kitchens. That's the way that it was set up.
So if it wasn't approved, you would go back to a single unit?
So-
And your hardship would be a financial hardship?
Yeah. So So the way that yes, it would be a hardship effect, but it would be, the people that would really suffer on that would be the tenants. I rented to a gentleman named Derek. He's been there for 10 years. He's been there much longer than I have. And that would consolidate them all, the people that he has with him, instead of having, 3 separate kitchens to use, they would all be consolidated to one. It would be a hardship for the tenants.
So then you're currently using it as a 3-unit?
Yes,
It's been that way since 1990.
It's been
Yeah,
that way for
I was
very
going to
long
say, from the letter from the neighbor, Mrs. Montford, she says it was converted for 3 units about 25 years ago, so it's not something new. It's already been there.
It's typical of the city. Anyone here to give testimony in this case? Please come up.
Hello, my name is June Iden, and I live at 6 Silex Street. So I'm here, first of all, hi. My name is June Iden. Oh, sure. Yes, I do. June Iden, E-I-D-E-N. Okay, so I'm here on behalf of the homeowners of Silex Street. Unfortunately, there were more that wanted to be here, but unfortunately could not attend. So we met Mr. Vosberger, and he seems like a very nice person. And we don't have any problem with 617 being a 2-family, but we do have a problem with it being a 3-family. Now, that basement apartment has been nothing but a nuisance since Mr. Nasser owned it, which he did not own it for 25 years. So this Miss Montford is wrong with that. I'm a 3rd-generation homeowner on that property. My grandfather had it, my father had it, and I had it. The problem we're having with the 3-family is it's one little street. Across the street from Mr. Vorberger's home is a garage. There's cars parked all over the place there. He wants to put he does have 3 families in there now. The basement apartment we have a problem with because it's been nothing but undesirables. The next person that's going to come up here will show you evidence of what goes on there in that basement. We're not here to make any waves, and we have no problem having that a 2-family, but we do have a problem being a 3-family. It's only a small little street. There is some other problems that I spoke to with you about, and I'm sure we can get some things cleared up, but we do not want that basement apartment. It's been nothing but a nuisance. There was a shooting there before Mr. Vorberger owned it, and there was also a couple drug overdoses. And currently now, there was a big drug raid there in April, which we have proof that we could show you. We don't want to make waves, but we want to protect ourselves too. The homeowners do not want that apartment down there. My niece lives next there. There's cars coming all day, all back and forth, back and forth. And the lot he bought is nice, it's very nice. It's right next to my house. And I can tell you that the people that live in there do not park there. About a week ago, my niece told me that somebody was there, 4:30 in the morning, slamming the door. So what I would suggest, and I think all the homeowners there, we have no problem with having the 2 families that he has in there now, we have no problem with, but the basement we do. So on behalf of our homeowners, we would request that you would allow him to have 2 families there and not convert that basement.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Excuse me, for the record, I'd like to object to that. It's really not a zoning matter as to whether they don't like the particular tenant.
You need a mic.
You need a
They
mic.
can't pick you up.
Can't pick up. I'm usually loud.
Yeah.
I said, for the record, I'd like to object to an issue that really is not a zoning issue. It seems more like a particular objection to a particular tenant.
Chad, turn the mic on. Chad, turn his mic on.
I'm sorry, I'll say it
That's
again.
all right.
I didn't know it was not on.
People at home can't hear you.
Okay, I don't know if he was watching at home, but I would object formally to the testimony about a particular tenant or what goes on in an apartment. It's really not a zoning issue. The building is constructed for the units that Mr. Vorberger has requested and has satisfied the requirements for parking for. If Mrs. Island doesn't like a particular tenant, that's something that has been communicated to Mr. Vorberger, who will evaluate the tenant and their behavior. You know, somebody slamming their door or slamming a door or a window sometime in the middle of the night is not really a zoning issue. So I appreciate her giving the input. I know she's talked to my client about that, but the tenants were there long before Mr. Vorberger purchased the building.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Well, may I say something about
Sure.
that? First of all, that shouldn't be a three-family. That is not a three-family. There was always one family there, and we know the family that was there. They were friends with my parents, and it never did go through zoning to make that a three-family, so it is not a three-family apartment. And as for the nuisance, you wouldn't like that next to
All right,
your house.
all right,
I don't
all right.
like it next to mine.
Thank you.
You're
Mr. Chairman, so we are here for a variance to convert a single-family unit into a three-family unit, or a three-unit, multi-unit building.
Correct.
Okay. So that is a zoning issue, 1 to 3.
Correct.
Irregardless of who irregardless of who the tenants are in the facility.
100% correct.
And the hardship would be a financial hardship because of having to convert it back to a single-family unit.
Correct.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes. My name is Josephine O'Boyle, O''Boyle, and I reside at 624 Mineral Avenue. Okay, with this 3 apartments, I have a problem with the parking issue. I know he said he bought a lot, but they don't park in the lot. They park on the street. Yesterday, there was the 2 tenants on Silex Street, 1 tenant on Mineral Avenue. You can't even get off of Silex Street at times. Between the garage across the street and the parking from the apartment house, you can't get off Silex Street, and Mineral Avenue's blocked. I mean, it's just like a circus over there some days. As I said, there was an issue with drugs in one of the apartments, and I mean, there were children involved.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop you because
Yes.
I do agree with the attorney. We're here just for the variance for the 3.
Okay, all right.
What happens in there, it
Okay.
really doesn't pertain
All
to
right.
us.
Well,
Thank you.
let me tell you now, I'm telling you about the parking. Parking is very tight, as it is all over the city. And we just don't need, I don't understand why you want to make 3 apartments in a 1-family home. What is the issue? Money? You want to make money? Is that what the issue is? That's what's going on here, you know? Like, another thing of the egress. There is no egress from the 3rd floor. Now, he said he could make the egress from the exterior wall out to the outside. Where's that egress going to be? You don't have any prop on one side, and the other side goes out to the sidewalk or the street. Where's the egress going to be? I don't understand where he said he could put a porch. There's nothing on this side.
Could you respond? Could you answer that question, or? Use the microphone.
It's on now.
So, Mr. Evans and I have been out there and looked at it. There's more than enough space to do an egress, yes.
Are you going to put it on the garage, the roof of the garage, or are you going to put it on the street? Because there's not ample,
It will not be on the street.
okay, so you're going to put it on the garage, that little garage,
It'll be over the garage,
the little garage that's off to the side?
on the right side.
Yes, that's where you're going to put the egress?
That's where the door will be, and then it'll be coming off that way, yes.
Okay, well, I don't understand how that's going to happen, but whatever. Let me see what else I have. Oh, no property manager. Nobody was ever told that there's a property manager at this place. And for the record, Mr. Nasser bought the property in 2010. It has not been 3 families for 25 years. Prior to the 3 families recently, it was a boarding house. And Mr. Nasser was cited for that, and that's when he put the 3 apartments in, and it never came to zoning. And the neighbors did complain, but nothing happened. I have another thing here. Right, like I said, Mr. Nasser bought it in 2010, so it wasn't 25 years. I'm in this neighborhood 70 years, so I know what has been going on with all the homes here. You know, this is what's happening. They take a little, and it's just that there's no yard. There's no yard, okay? Like I said, there's no parking. And God forbid, if there's a fire, like a fire truck won't even get up the street. You know what I'm saying? With all the cars parked around there. It's just terrible, especially after supper time when everybody's home from work. It's a nightmare. But I just don't understand why you want to take a single-family home, because that's what it always was, up until 2010, and make it 3 units. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I hope, I do have the drug problem. I'm just saying this was why Mr. Valsenberg did have the building. So, I mean, he has to, you know, vet these tenants, you know, and that's what I'm concerned of. You know, I'm elderly, my husband's elderly.
Ma'am, I'm gonna stop you again
All
on
right,
that
but we
subject.
should be able to enjoy our neighborhood, you know, and not have to worry about parking and not have to worry about everything else that's going on, because there's just too many of these families, single families, being converted in the city, and, you know, enough is enough. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I think Mr. Borberger would like to respond to Mrs. O'Brien.
Oh, boy.
So just the other day, or yesterday, I was given the police report for the incidents that they described, and I'm going to be moving forward and doing things of that nature. I don't like drugs. I don't like those sorts of things. That'll be dealt with. And then on the other one, that lady has lived in that area for a very long time, much longer than the one that's being complained about has been there much longer than I have owned the building.
Let me ask you, one of the concerns she had, do you have a property manager?
Myself and I have a team, yes.
Do you live in the area?
Yes.
How close? Like, I don't want your address, but how close would you say?
I live at the University of Scranton. The University of Scranton?
Okay, all right.
Would you be willing to accommodate the neighbors and go to a 2-family unit?
Not particularly, no.
So your hardship still is a 3-family unit and financial?
Yes.
So to compromise the neighbors and to have friends with the neighbors who have been there for 70 years, you won't consider going to 2? So it's 3 or nothing?
I would.
It's
I
3
would be
or
happy
it's 3 or
to.
nothing. I'm asking the question, yes or no, 3 or nothing?
No, I've never conducted any business in that way.
I'm asking the question, would you go for 3 units or back to 1 unit?
I would much rather have 3 units.
You'd much rather have 3 and not compromise with the neighbors.
Well, I would love to, they're having an issue with a specific tenant. So there was another issue with the parking.
So-
I have no issue to remind them, hey, with this parking is available, you're more than welcome to use it. And then on the issue of tenants, I was made aware yesterday of a very problematic tenant. They provided me with a police report, and I'm more than happy to look into resolving that issue and having a much more regular person in the apartment.
I sat in the audience for the first case tonight. Basically, that gentleman wanted to put 14 units. The board asked if he would put 8. So here I am, up here now, as a member of the board, asking you, are you willing to put 2? To compromise the neighbors? Tell me yes or no.
So he said no. He already answered.
I want to hear him say no again.
The application was to convert the 3 units that have been there for, according to the neighbors, 16 years.
I hear you, sir. But the application on case number 1 was for 14, and the board said, were you willing to go less? So his application here is take a single-family unit and put 3 in there, and I'm asking him if he will go less to compromise with the neighbors who have lived there for 70 years. That's my question. And if your answer is no, your answer is no. Thank you.
I would like to be heard on 3, and if 3 doesn't work, then we can speak about 2. I'm not sure.
So that egress that he's going to be required for that 3rd unit before we would vote on this,
That's a condition,
we can put that as a condition.
yes.
I would like to also, I mean, not that we could put it as a condition, but you bought this parking lot and your neighbors are complaining about the parking. I mean, could you have your tenants park in your parking lot and not on the street, or at least try to enforce that with your?
I mentioned already to them that it's there and it's available, and I'm more than happy to send out a text as soon as we leave here to just remind them and say, hey, I had this hearing today. Some of the neighbors showed up and both of them mentioned that there's a parking issue over there. Do you mind using the parking that's now acquired?
And obviously your neighbors seem like great people and they seem to like you, but I don't think, from what they're telling us, that you're really vetting your tenants the correct way. So I think you should try to make the neighbors a little happy and do a little better job getting the right tenants for your building, you know?
Absolutely. They're having an issue with the with the one lady who, again, she was there before me.
I have 2 questions. Mr. Evans, I have a question for you. You went out and seen it. We'll talk about the egress that's going to have to be put in. From what you've seen, one of the concerns from one of the neighbors was that it doesn't land in the yard or can't land in the yard because there's no property. In your opinion, in your role, will it fit and will it be a proper egress?
Yes, sir, well, behind the house on Mineral, you, correct me if I'm wrong, please, you own the Silex.
I own Silex.
He owns a house right behind them as well, and there's probably maybe, I'm using a rough estimate, but maybe from here to here, backyard, that they could easily put the bottom of the step for the 3rd floor egress. They definitely have enough room, and I would still believe have enough of the rear yard setback for that.
Will it meet city code?
I would believe so, yes. Currently, right now, the steps that they show me are interior. They're interior in the building that are, I don't know if there was an addition put on in the back or what it was, but there is steps there on the inside.
And we'll go back to you, just one quick thing. Would you be willing to give your neighbors your phone number, since you are the property manager, or owner property manager, that if they do have a problem, they can reach you? You have it? Okay.
So one.
Well, she can give it to you. She has it.
Right.
She's a good neighbor. She's going to give you that number. So, well, your sister, then you're not going to get it off of her. So.
No, but I hate to be a stickler. One last thing. My phone's never rang from any of the neighbors. They do have my numbers. No one's ever called me and said they had an issue. For me, everything was completely quiet until on 4:30. I got the call from Mr. Evans.
Well, maybe. You have to come up here. You have to come up here.
The neighbors can't call him if they don't know his number.
Well, that's why I'm asking you to share it. Your sister share it with you.
But
and
I'm
get
just saying, like, I would have called him.
But your sister had the number all along. She should have gave it to you.
And as far as living in that neighborhood, my sister's there the longest. So whether you have Miss Mumford or whatever, Moniford, she just came to the neighborhood not long ago. And like I said, Mr. Nasser bought that in 2010.
Ma'am,
I'm just saying.
I know.
because he said
We heard all this
25.
already. Thank you.
Okay, but
I appreciate it.
So he could give us the number.
I don't have it. Your sister has. Ma'am, unless it's new testimony, we come up. And please be about the 3 units, nothing else.
It's about the 3 units. The reason that I never called him is because we didn't want to make any waves in that neighborhood. But it's not meant to be a 3-family apartment. It's a single street. And Mr. Vorberger, you have 5 rents coming in there because he owns.
Ma'am,
I'm
we're
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry, but the next door to him, he has 2 rents, and then you have 2 rents coming in the White House. So that would be 4 rents if he made it a 2-family. So I don't know how he is saying that it's going to be financially, whatever.
Hardship.
Hardship. I couldn't think of the word. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Give your sister the number, please.
You ready? You ready? I'll make a motion with the conditions. Were you done?
Should I say sitting or stand?
No, were you done? Were you trying to speak again?
I'm finished.
Okay.
What conditions are put in?
The egress.
Anything else?
Motion with the egress condition.
Second?
On the motion, Mr. McDermott,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Welby.
No.
No.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Mr.
Mr. Matievich.
No.
And Mr. Gattens.
I'm going to agree. I think it's overcrowded in the neighborhood and everything, so I'm going to be a no vote. But by a vote of 3 to 2, you've passed.
Yeah, we have copies.
Can we go?
got copies of it.
Can we go? Ready? Yep, let's go.
Back to case number 3, 1317 Dartmouth LLC seeks an interpretation and/or variance to use property as a 4-unit apartment building, remanded for the Court of Common Pleas for the development of a record. 1317 Dartmouth Street, R10 zone.
Right. Okay, we're going to limit this to the 3 people that were here on the last meeting. The 3 of you that heard this before. We're going to limit this to the 3 people that are heard it before.
Only the 3 of us could vote.
Remanded back to us. additional new testimony?
Just for determine, the prior testimony is still on record.
So
This
is there
is
gonna be any new testimony?
remanded back to a determination as to whether a 4-unit dwelling was permitted prior to 1982. So I think we're going to start with Mr. King.
Attorney Penitor, will there be new testimony provided?
No. There only on a limited basis as to that particular issue that Judge Nealon set it back
So if
for.
there's any new testimony, the two members should be able to vote, correct?
Yeah,
If it's
if
no
it's-
new testimony like this case we did before.
But the old
when people
testimony
were
is
here.
already, the old
That was my
testimony is
copy
already
I
on
gave you.
record. We're not striking
You're not
that.
introducing
It's not
nothing new.
remanded.
Yeah.
The other case was remanded for a new hearing.
Okay.
This one was not remanded for a new hearing. Okay, Mr. King first.
Should I be sworn in then?
Sure.
I do. This case was remanded back to the zoning board by Judge Nealon. In his order, says pursuant to 2 PA code, blah, blah, blah. The above caption matter is remanded to the City of Scranton Zoning Hearing Board to develop an appropriate evidentiary record to A, the zoning district which 1317 Dartmouth Street was located in 1982 under the Scranton zoning ordinance that was in effect from 65 to 93. B, whether a 4-unit dwelling was permitted in that use at the time, and C, any other additional historical facts relevant to the appellant's claim of prior nonconforming use. So I prepared a report that's in your packets. I'll read it into the record. In an order dated April 28, 2026, Honorable Terrence R. Nealon remanded the above referenced case to the City of Scranton Zoning Hearing Board to develop an appropriate evidentiary record as to A, the zoning district within which 1317 Dartmouth Street was located in an ordinance that was in effect from 65 to 93. B, whether a 4-unit dwelling was permitted use in that district at the time, and C, any additional historical facts relevant to the appellant's claim of prior nonconforming use. I've reviewed the prior ordinances and determined that file of council number 5 of 1965, which I'll refer to as the 65 ordinance, is the zoning ordinance that was in effect in 1982. That ordinance was in effect from January 22, 1965 through December 28, 1983, when it was superseded by file of council number 48, 1983. My review of the 65 ordinance and map indicates that 1317 Dartmouth Street was located in an R2 zoning district. I have a copy of the map and that property highlighted in the report. The 1965 zoning ordinance lists 17 use classes, with 10 being permitted uses and 7 being special uses. The present term would be a special exception. The 1965 ordinance includes a Schedule 1, which is duplicated in the report, which lists the use classes permitted in each zoning district. Schedule 1 indicates single-family residential and two-family residential as permitted uses in the R2 district. Multifamily residential is not listed as a permitted use. Use class 11, conversions, is listed as a special use in the R2 zone. The ordinance states that conversions include the conversion of residential buildings into two-family and multifamily dwellings. The ordinance states, uses listed as special uses in Schedule 1 shall require individual consideration in each case because of their unique characteristics. Such special uses may be permitted only upon authorization by the Board of Zoning Appeals, subject to certain conditions, safeguards as provided in this section and after review by the Planning Commission. Such special uses shall comply with the provisions of this section and may be permitted by the board, subject to any additional conditions and safeguards which may be warranted by the character of the areas in which such uses are proposed or other special factors. A special use shall not cause substantial injury to the value of other property where it is to be located, shall conform with the regulations applicable to the district where located, shall be compatible with adjoining development, shall provide adequate landscaping and screening to protect adjoining areas, shall provide off-street parking and loading so as to minimize interference with traffic on local streets, and shall not jeopardize the public health, safety, and welfare and convenience. The following regulations shall apply to special uses, use classes 11 through 17, which are authorized by the Zoning Board of Appeals. Use Class 11 conversions includes the conversion of residential buildings into two-family and multifamily dwellings. All conversions shall have at least one off-street parking space per dwelling unit, and each unit shall have adequate light, air, heating, and plumbing facilities, and shall have 600 square feet of floor area for each dwelling unit. As Use Class 11 would allow the building to be converted to 4 units if authorized by the Board of Zoning Appeal, I reviewed the board's dockets for the period of January 18th, 1974, the date that the property was purchased by Harold Kaplan as referenced in the deed filed in the Lackawanna County Recorder of Deeds, book number 817 at page 707, until December 31st, 1982, and can find no evidence that the then owner made any application to the Board of Zoning Appeals for the conversion of 1817 Dartmouth Street to a 4-unit building. Based on my review of these documents, it is my opinion that the conversion to a 4-unit dwelling at 1817 Dartmouth Street in the R2 zoning district was not a conforming or permitted use under the 1965 ordinance. A 4-unit dwelling may have been permitted under the ordinance had the owner at the time made application and demonstrated compliance with the special use provisions of the ordinance.
We're going to need you at the mic.
So, Mr. King, I know you just testified or read your report that you went back to 1974. However, how do you know that this property wasn't converted pursuant to whatever ordinance was in place prior to that? I'm not aware of any testimony of record that set forth that it was done within a certain time frame.
I believe the testimony that was given, my recollection was that it was Mr. Kaplan who made the conversion to 4 units.
I don't know that anybody, well, I strike that. I don't think that Mr. Kaplan ever made that statement in the past, and my clients never did. So while somebody else may have set forth that, I think the testimony that was presented that was prior to 1982 that it was converted, and that from 1982 to the present, which would have been back a year ago, that it was never rented. I think that's what the testimony reflects. So you only went back to 1974.
That's correct.
But we have established that at some point, pursuant to the ordinance that was in place, that it was possible to convert a 2-unit into a multifamily.
With the board's approval.
I understand that, but we're not quite sure when that may or may not have happened. But we do know that as the property sits right now, it's set up as a 4-unit, correct?
That's the testimony, yes.
So Mr. King, if you know, you've been a part of these hearings for how long now?
42 years.
Okay. Is it fair to say that this board, the zoning hearing board of the city of Scranton has utilized and looked at refuse spills to set forth how many units have been attached to a certain location?
I believe that's been used for evidence in some cases.
Going to call a witness, that being Mr. Sean Bingham.
Just hold on 1 second. Let them get these people.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Mr. Bingham, I'm going to show you what has been marked as applicant's exhibit A1. Can you tell the board what this represents?
This is a permit that was pulled 11/2 of 2005 for 1317 Dartmouth Street. It was a plumbing, P stands for plumbing, 05 stands for the year. It's permit number 879. The description of proposed plumbing work is as follows. Fixture in 2 bathrooms and 2 kitchens, repipe storm and sanitary sewers and basement, 2 waste vents, connections and drains, 2 floor drains in the basement. We don't know what convert old permit to 944 does mean though.
And again, this was for the connection and setup of 2 bathrooms and 2 kitchens?
That's correct.
Okay. And subsequent to that, I'm going to refer to what's been marked as applicant's exhibit 2.
Who pulled this permit?
Wouldn't know. It's not, it's just
So, I
pulled.
mean-
It was pulled 22 years ago.
But without a name on it, it means nothing to me.
Well, the address is on it, 1317 Dartmouth Street.
Okay.
I think that's what's in question.
Thanks.
So again, I'm showing you what's been marked A2, which appears to be a permit submitted little less than a year after the one we just set forth in A1. Can you tell me what that is?
It's permit plumbing 06, the year, permit number 233. That would be for the connection of 2 water services into that property. The rough-in took place in 2005. We believe the service hookup would have been in 2006.
So it says install 2 water service lines.
That's correct.
So not replace. So is it normal to, prior to, let's say, this point in time, would it be normal for 2 existing water lines to be broken off into 4 units?
If there's 4 units in the property, it is.
But what's the downfall of that?
Downfall would be if you have 4 units and you only have 2 water lines into the house, you're responsible to pay the water and the sewer for one side, first and second floor, second side, first and second floor. So you would be responsible for the water bill for both apartments.
So breaking this down with 2 additional lines, if there were already 2 existing, would allow someone to actually charge for the water usage in 4 separate units, correct?
No, not quite. They wouldn't charge. It would allow for the water company and the
Okay.
sewer company
Correct.
to charge the individual. Instead of the landlord assuming the responsibilities of paying the monies, the tenants would be responsible for it.
Mr. King, It says install 2 service water lines. Does that mean it could be new services or existing?
That's the question.
I don't think we know that.
We don't know the answer to that.
Well, it says here, okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So our position, it doesn't say replace, doesn't say repair, it says install, which by definition would mean something that wasn't there before. So I'm going to show you what's been marked now as A3. Can you tell us about this permit and what it represents?
Well, this permit is the newest permit. This would be electrical E, the year 2024, and the permit number 476. It would be for a new service and a service change. Description of proposed work would be to get 3 electrical services re-inspected, not installed, but re-inspected, which would say you would need the 1 electrical that's left on for the house that never was empty, left on. And in order to get the other 3 back on, you would have to do what's called an inspection through Northeast Inspections. They would come out and they would inspect the 3 boxes. You pay them individually. You get a cutting card from PP&L, that's your work order number. You give them the number, they inspect the box, and then they call PP&L and they reinstall the power back to the house. That's where it comes into 3 service re-inspections.
So it was previously established that this actual home, structure I should say, has 6 actual electrical hookups, correct?
I'm not quite sure if that has 6. I had pictures of it. I think the property maybe next door has the 6, but I think the property to the left has 4. I could be wrong. I'm sure he has a picture of it.
Okay. So if we turn to the second page of A3, it shows that this property is listed as a multifamily 3 or more units.
Correct.
And this is what was submitted. And it shows first floor B, second floor A and B.
Correct.
Why doesn't it have first floor A?
Well, based off of what I'm looking at here, the utility authorization, they would be what I talked about earlier. So first floor B would be the work order number, 138-303-A3. And then the second floor, 138-303-91. And then second floor B, which would be the second apartment upstairs, 138-303-95, which leads me to believe that the second side, A was already active. A was active. They only needed to activate B on that side, A and B on the other side.
So they needed to re-inspect 3
in order to get that. That's the authorization for it, correct?
Okay.
Well, why
Excuse
does
me.
it say on that permit that it was stopped?
That's correct. This permit was never issued.
No, this permit was stopped. We know when this permit was stopped. This permit was stopped when a neighbor immediately came and said, oh, hold on a second, this can't be. She happens to work in the building. We know that. We know what it is. We know exactly what it is.
But this was originally approved and cleared through the city, setting forth residential, multifamily 3 or more, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Again, I have to disagree.
Mr. King, I can
Hang on.
Hold on, I can take you one step further with this, with the recent activity.
This permit was never issued. It wasn't issued and stopped. It was never issued in the first place.
But it passed everybody's, in your queue, where you're zoning, right? You're the 5th one down, correct? So it goes administrative review, right? Okay, it passed that. She's the first one who gets it. You agree?
Yeah.
Hold on, just say, she's the first one who gets it, correct? Administrative review. She punches in the computer. You know, I know what they put in, correct? She puts in there 3 or more units. Why did she put that in there? Because that's what it is and that's what it was.
No, because that's what the application said.
Okay, so she doesn't do her due diligence?
No, that's not her job. Her job is
No,
just
that
to
is
make
her
sure the
job.
application is filled out.
Okay, that's her job. All right, that's her job. Guys, just for the record, it went through all the stages of approval until the phone call was made. Simple as that.
So again, our position is very simply this. First of all, at some point in time, this building, again, look at the transcript from the last hearing. It was well established. There were many things here to set forth that this was a existing 4-unit structure. So today's hearing is to try to establish that at some point in the past, this was established as a non-conforming use. And my argument is twofold. One, that either there was a permit that was permitted, because now we at least know that during the time that this property was converted, at a minimum, if we're looking at the time frame, now I know Mr. King didn't find a permit. However, it's something that was allowable by the ordinance, number one. Number two, there's also a line of case law out there that clearly sets forth that if the municipality acknowledges and/or acquiesces to the use continuing and existing and doesn't do anything to change it, and I'm going to set forth in this case, not only did the city not do anything to change it, they actually reaffirmed it and benefited from setting forth and acknowledging this was a 4-unit structure. So I presented to you, which again, Mr. Bingham, what we marked as A4. Is this something that you received back from a right-to-know request?
That's correct.
And what is this?
I filed a number of right-to-knows on this property, and this one in particular that I filed, I asked how many units was this house, was it registered for? So what I received back, and I believe in the prior testimony, Mr. King said he couldn't find it, and I did say, well, if he can't find it, how come I can find it? And I presented the board with it. This is what I'm holding in my hand today, is a number of units, actual numbers of units from the city of Scranton that says 4, dated 2018.
So again, at least from 2018, there was a rental registration that we've marked as applicants for that was filed for 4-unit.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mr. King, is there, it was filed, but what was it like, was it accepted, those, like, were they given 4 units at that time for rental registration?
I don't know. Mr. Walsh, I think we weren't asking for permission of it, so they wouldn't need to tell us that we had it. At that point, you have to do as a business owner and as a rental person, you have to apply with the city for the rental ordinances, and you have to tell them how many you have. They approve it or they don't approve it. Like the gentleman just came with 3, and he only had 1. If he applied and said he has 3, Robin Salumbo, who is the rental manager, would say, no, this is only 1. She would stop it, and she would have to come. This was issued because it was a 4. We didn't ask for that.
So,
That's what they gave us.
So next what I just presented is Applicant's Exhibit 5, A5. This is a Pennsylvania tax certification that was pulled when the property was sold, and it clearly sets forth, and I'm going to give you the backup for it, that for tax years, if you look in the center, there's a section that says prior year's taxes, and it shows that they were paid for 2021, 2022, and 2023. I'm going to also show you what's been marked as Exhibit A6, which was pulled as part of the tax certification. That clearly shows.
Just wait till you get back to the mic, please.
So what we have marked as Exhibit A6 is part of what came back with the tax certification, which shows that for the years 2021, 2022, 2023, that a base for refuse was paid at $1,200. The owner at the time, Mr. Kaplan, was given a $120 discount, which I'm assuming is his discount for paying that amount during the discount period.
So now we'll move on to 2024.
You have here. It's right there.
This is the actual tax bill issued by the city.
So here we see what's been marked as, I think it's A7. And this is the 2024 real estate tax bill from the county as well as the city of Scranton and the school. You can clearly see on here, it's marked as refuse fee $1,200, which I believe would equate to 4 units. 4 times 300. What's been marked as A8 is the 2025 real estate tax bill. And again, all of these tax bills, as you can see, if we look at the PIN number, it's PIN number 15609020019, which is the property located at 1317 Dartmouth Street. This is the 2025 tax bill for the city and the school district as well as the county. Again, clearly sets forth refuse fee, $1,200. Next document has been marked as A9. This is the transaction receipt showing what was paid for the property and taxes, which if you look and compare it to the 2025 real estate tax bill, we will see that this bill includes a $1,200 fee for refuse. Now you have what's been marked as applicant's exhibit 10. This is the 2026 real estate tax bill. Keep in mind, a whole year now after we were here the first time. And again, it's for the 1317 Dartmouth Street property. It clearly shows refuse fee, $1,200. This is applicant's exhibit 11. This is the transaction receipt for payment of the 2026 taxes. And you could see at the bottom that payments were made online 5/21/26 and 2 payments made 4/23/2026. All totaling up to the exact same amount as the 2026 tax bill, which includes a $1,200 refuse fee.
So also keep in mind that the 2025 tax bill, as well as the 2026 tax bill, were paid by the new owner, the actual applicant, not Mr. Kaplan, who has since been deceased and sold the property in 2024. Why I believe this is very telling, and you know, if you review the transcript the last time we were here, there were some arguments made by the board and/or Mr. King that, oh, if Mr. Kaplan was paying the refuse fee for, 4 units, that's his fault, that's his mistake. I don't agree with that because Mr. Kaplan doesn't just remit the money. He wasn't being charged for 2 units and remitted money for 4 units. He was being billed. He paid what the city of Scranton billed him based on how they viewed the property as a 4-unit building. For years, the city has benefited, and this is just what we have. The city has benefited from charging 4 tax refuse bills for the prior owner and the current owner. So the city is who develops the bill. It's not the owner of the property. So I think that it's very difficult to make any type of an argument that the city didn't recognize this property as a 4-unit property. And now we even know there was a period of time that 4-unit would have been allowed. Whether or not the proper process went through, I do not know. I don't think anybody knows that because nobody has the records to show or not show that. And nobody knows for sure when this unit was converted. However, we do know if you look at the unit, it's a 4-unit. And I don't think the city has the luxury of, today we want our money for 4 garbage fees, and next week when someone complains about it, oh no, this is only a 2-unit. It doesn't work that way. I think it's very clear, based on what we have in front of us now, that this building structure at 1317 Dartmouth was acknowledged by the city as a 4-unit property. Despite what anyone else in the neighborhood believes, it's what the city believes is what dictates. And again, we also know from the prior testimony, there are multiple other multi-family properties just within a square block. So this is not some anomaly that somebody under the cloak of darkness went and converted a 2-family into a 4-family. And if they did that, shame on the city because they had no business acknowledging it at any point in time as a 4-unit, billing and benefiting from it as a 4-unit.
Anyone else here to give testimony in this case?
Yes.
For the benefit of the board, before Mr. Dorenzo testifies, I'd like to make a preliminary statement. I'm Sean McDonough. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Dorenzo, who resides, his family home is separated by an alley from this property. I would say at the outset, as it relates to Attorney Campolietto has done a fabulous job, but my question is the extent to which it has any bearing on the scope of what this hearing was scheduled to establish. For the record, Judge Nealon's particular and discrete finding was a determination must be made as to whether a 4-unit dwelling was permitted at 1317 Dartmouth Street prior to 1982. To make that threshold determination, it must be ascertained whether a 4-unit dwelling was a conforming or a permitted use at 1317 Dartmouth Street under the 1965 to 1993 version of the City of Scranton zoning ordinance. Mr. King did a detailed search and studied the zoning ordinance at issue and made a particular finding that a multifamily dwelling was not a permitted use under the ordinance in question. He made a further determination that, in his letter, I believe dated January 10 of 2026, which he handed me at the outset of the hearing. Quote, I reviewed the board's dockets for the period of January 18, 1974, the date the property was purchased by Harold Kaplan, as referenced in a deed filed in the Lackawanna County Recorder of Deeds in book number 817 of page 707, until December 31, 1982, and can find no evidence that the then owner made any application to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the conversion of 817 Dartmouth Street to a 4-unit building. I know that we're going to hear testimony from Mr. DiRenzo. I submit that ancillary documents associated with application for sewer hookups and whether or not garbage bills were paid for more than 2 units is not relevant as it relates to what this board was charged with making a finding of fact. And for that reason, that has no bearing as it relates to the specific instruction given by the Court of Common Pleas. No, go ahead.
If I could just respond to that, while I understand Attorney McDonough's argument, it's not this board's job or in your purview to interpret the judge's order. The judge remanded the case to develop whether or not a conforming use and or pre-existing non-conforming use existed, whatever dates the judge gave. The evidence that we presented in part shows that, because we already know the building existed. It already exists as a 4-unit. We have to show whether or not there was a non-conforming use prior. And it's up to the judge if this case, by either stretch, whether the board approves or doesn't approve, somebody potentially could be taking an appeal. At that point, it's thrown back into the judge's lap. It's not for this board to make a determination as to what they were or weren't charged with doing.
And the hour is late. A final point on that. We've seen permits that counsel has asked this board to interpret to the benefit of his client. That's great advocacy. We haven't seen any applications. If in fact a property owner submits an application that contains information that's false or misleading, or contains information asking for a use that's not consistent with what's permitted under the law, the applicant cannot rely upon that, regardless of whether or not there's a technical error made by the city. The best example of that is this contention that a permit was issued when in fact Mr. King indicated that it was never issued, that at the first level it may have been approved, but based on the documents, I haven't seen the exhibits, if an application is submitted saying there's 3 units and that was never a lawful use, this applicant has no basis under the law to rely upon a wrongly issued permit that's based upon misleading or false information.
Okay, let me try to put this in perspective here. The main crux of the appeal before Judge Nealon was whether or not the applicant met their burden under 9.4 to show that the 4 units were legally existing. Okay, that's the basis for what was argued before Judge Nealon. Judge Nealon felt that he didn't have enough evidence as to what the prior ordinances said to make it a determination, and that's what he sent it back here for. Now, I don't see anything here that shows an application was approved by the zoning board for 4 units. However, it appears as though the city may be in a bind because they've accepted 4 units since at least 2021 and possibly back to 2018. I'm not so sure this board can make that determination. I think that has to go to Judge Nealon to make that determination. Based on the existing record. I don't think we need to go further with the existing record. That's what he sent it back here for. Did the applicant meet their burden to show it was legally existing? There's nothing here that says that. However, the city has accepted 4 units since, like I said, at least since 2021 and possibly back to 2018. So now that brings up a different set of case law, so to speak. And again, I don't think this board can make that decision.
Well, I'm not asking the board to make that ruling as to why the city did or didn't do something. I'm asking the board to make a determination as they would in any other case based on the additional information that's been provided to the 3 board members that heard the initial testimony. And
Right,
again,
and
whatever
they,
they're...
and they found initially that that you didn't meet your burden showing that it was approved by this board for 4 units. There's nothing that you presented tonight that says the board approved 4 units, okay? Now, you've used it as 4 units, and the city may be stopped from not letting you use it as 4 units, but again, that's not this board's decision, that's Judge Nealon's decision.
I still think this board needs to render some sort of a determination.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't, listen, you control the board. If you don't believe they need to vote, that's up to you. But I guess my question is, where do we now go with this transcript back to Judge Nealon?
I think we have to submit the new evidence that's been presented tonight to Judge Nealon to answer what his question was.
Well, then that's what we'll do.
I think that's the way we need to go.
I'm fine with that.
Can we make, I'm assuming we'll make all of council's exhibits part of the record?
Yes.
Because I haven't had the opportunity to see them.
Yeah,
Thanks, I
they're
appreciate that.
basically proof of garbage fees being paid. We could make copies. I'm sure Joe will give you copies of those.
The one thing, and I don't want to belabor anything in light of the late hour, but one of the issues that Judge Nealon may want to hear is the extent to which anyone has resided or this property has been utilized.
I think that was brought out at the last hearing, that they've been vacant for forever.
As long as we can state that of record, that the units have been vacant.
That's in the transcript.
Determining factor whether or not...
Yeah, that's in the transcript.
Okay.
From the prior hearing.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay? So, thank you for your attendance here, but I think we're going to have to send this, I don't think this board can make that decision. I think we have to send this to Judge Nealon in answer to what his questions were.
Thank you.
Okay?
Meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned.